Now, I don't know about you, but I sure feel old and knackered these days. Yes, the constant grind of being a YouTube funny man might have caught up with me, even if you probably didn't notice, since I've managed to keep the standard of the knob jokes pretty damn high. High and stiff, like a knob. How longtime WWE stars who are in the 40+ club manage to get out of bed in the morning, let alone keep up with performers almost half their age, is beyond me. But these lads and lasses are super kicking Father Time in the face. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 wrestling legends who are getting better with age. Join us. Number 10, Bobby Lashley. When Bobby Lashley made his on-screen WWE debut in the fall of 2005, it was readily apparent that he had heaps of potential. WWE had big plans for him too, but an ECW title reign and a high-profile match at WrestleMania 23 were about as good as it got before he exited the company in early 2008, the potential largely unfulfilled. Truth is, Lashley had the athletic ability and look to be a major star, but he lacked a certain charisma to truly connect on a higher level. When the Almighty returned to the company in 2018, he did so as a much more well-rounded performer, the years of working for TNA and fighting in MMA having smoothed out a few of the rough edges that were there during his first WWE run. Bobby has proven what a top-level talent he is during this second stint, not only showing a marked improvement in his in-ring work, but also a new level of confidence on the mic and with his character work. Now creeping towards his late 40s, Lashley is one of WWE's most dependable main event acts. He also somehow looks even more ripped than he did in his mid-20s, which shouldn't be possible and certainly isn't fair. Number 9, Dustin Rhodes. They call him the Natural. Natural as can be. Yeah, they call him the Natural. It just comes naturally. So went the opening lines to Dustin Rhodes' absolute banger of a WCW theme song. It was an accurate assessment of Dustin, who took to the business like a duck takes to wrestling, or whatever that saying is. Now in his mid-50s and openly talking about his impending retirement, the 35-year-old veteran will be a serious miss on the AEW roster when he puts away the face paint for good. Dustin has gotten himself in tremendous shape over the last few years, and free of the personal demons that at times threaten to overshadow his on-screen work, is laser-focused on going out in style. His instant classic with Brother Cody at the 2019 Double or Nothing event kicked off this late-stage purple patch, which has seen him have belters with the likes of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Sammy Guevara, and others. A surefire future Hall of Famer, enjoy Dustin Rhodes doing what he does best while you still can. Number 8, Rey Mysterio. Look, there has never been a moment in time that Rey Mysterio was anything less than really, really good, but the man himself has admitted that constant injuries slowed him down and made him perform below his usual lofty standards towards the end of his first WWE run. Between leaving and coming back in 2018, Mysterio wrestled part-time on the indies and internationally. He also, crucially, discovered the magic of stem cell therapy, making frequent trips to Colombia to get the injections that have not only prolonged his career by several years, but healed him to the point that he's been able to ditch the knee braces and turn back the hands of time by moving around the ring with a speed and grace that belies his 48 years of age. Seriously, if the masked man just showed up today out of nowhere, having never wrestled on TV before, you would peg his age at half of what it actually is. The WWE Hall of Famer hasn't lost a step and looks as good as he ever has. It's hard to believe that he was contemplating retirement not too long ago. Number 7, Edge. If Edge's WWE career had ended with his doctor-imposed 2011 retirement, it still would have been one of the most illustrious in WWE history. But the Hall of Famer didn't want the ride to end on somebody else's terms and made the most improbable comeback, starting with his spectacular surprise return at the 2020 Royal Rumble. The Rated R Superstars promo style might not be for everyone, but when it comes to the work in the ring, you cannot argue with the results. Go on, try and argue with me, see how shouted at and blocked that gets ya. His matches with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Finn Balor and others have all been top class, and thanks to his seasonal schedule, Edge has been able to properly rest and keep his body in prime shape. The Ultimate Opportunist turns 50 in October, by which point he might well have bowed out, having heavily hinted that he's close to calling time on this last chapter. Hopefully there's still time to bring Gangrel back into the fold before then. Number 6, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus retired from full-time in-ring competition at Unforgiven 2006, enjoying a storybook career ending as she beat her best friend / greatest rival Lita to win the Women's Championship in her hometown of Toronto. Inevitably, Trish came back, including for the odd match in 2008, 2009 and 2011, before largely disappearing from our screens. The WWE Hall of Famer returned once more as a surprise entrant in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble in 2018, which led to more tag matches and finally a big intergenerational showdown with Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam 2019. Showing no signs of ring rust as she rocked the house in her loss to the Queen, Trish decided that she wanted one more bite of the cherry this year, only this time as a heel. Turning to the dark side, Stratus has reminded everyone just what an effective bad girl she can be in her feud with Becky Lynch. At 47, the former 7-time women's champion looks better than ever, and I mean that both literally because, and I say this completely respectfully, holy smoke show, as well as she does in the ring. Clearly her years of practicing yoga and adhering to a healthy lifestyle have kept her in top shape, because the Trish from 2023 is even leaner and meaner than the Trish from 2003. Number 5, Jeff Jarrett. At this stage in the game, Jeff Jarrett has just about seen and done it all when it comes to the pro wrestling business. Having debuted all the way back in 1986, the third-generation star has demonstrated an unparalleled knack for surviving and thriving in an often cutthroat business. There have been some high highs and low lows along the way, but Double J consistently manages to land on his feet and prosper, even after going through some real rough patches in recent times. These days, the Chosen One is of course all elite, working not only as the company's Director of Business Development, but as a featured on-screen talent too. You could hear the sound of 1,000 moaning tweets when Jarrett cropped up on Dynamite and cracked Darby Allin with his trademark guitar, but you would be a bald-faced lying bastard if you didn't admit that he's been great value since. The former WCW World Heavyweight Champion looks like he's having the time of his life out there, drawing some real genuine heat while working with the new generation of stars. Credit must go to Jarrett for getting in phenomenal shape and using his veteran experience to help get others over. Ain't he great? Number 4, Mickie James. Mickie James made her pro wrestling debut all the way back in 1999, 2 days before she turned 20. And Mickie has been going strong ever since, working her way from the Indies to WWE before an impressive run in TNA/Impact paved the way for a second WWE run. After she was released and famously had her belongings sent to her in a bin bag, Mickie may have wondered what, 2 decades into her career, was next. Her re-emergence in Impact has been a triumph, in particular her inspired Last Rodeo series, which saw James test herself against Impact's best en route to a 5th Knockouts title. With the stipulation that the next time she lost she would have to retire, Mickie wrestled every match as if it were her last. There was a genuine sadness to the thought that the veteran might actually call it a day. The Last Rodeo and her recent work in Impact in general has solidified Mickie's status as a legend and exhibited how much of a well-rounded total package she really is. A true credit to the industry. Let's hope there are many more rodeos in her future. Number 3, Sheamus. Sheamus has never been shy about smashing other people in the face, but these days he seems to relish hitting them extra hard. And you know what? It is absolutely class. The Celtic Warrior has been around WWE for an age, having made his on-screen debut back in 2009. There have been plenty of ups and downs along the way, but Sheamus has only gotten better and better and better and better over time, to the point that he's now delivering banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. The fella has always been a hard-nosed workhorse, but it's fair to say that his efforts perhaps went underappreciated by some in the past. Having found sadistic soulmates in fellow bruisers like Drew McIntyre and Gunther, Sheamus has been having the matches of his life of late, leaving it all in the ring every time he steps through the curtain. You wonder how much time he has left given his age and history of injuries, but the Irishman shows no signs of slowing down, and as long as there's a chin to be kicked or a chest to be clubbed, he will be on hand to dish it out. Number 2, Randy Orton. A naturally gifted third-generation athlete, it was obvious from the very get-go that young Randy Orton was going to be something special. Watching footage of him in WWE Developmental Territory OVW in the early 2000s, you can see very clearly that the future legend killer is as smooth as silk and has the physical abilities to be a star. That promise was fulfilled very early, as Randy, while being groomed by Evolution teammates Triple H and Ric Flair, became a headliner and won his first world title at the tender age of 24. Since then, Orton has won everything there is to win in WWE and has amassed an enviable body of work across the 2 decades he's been on the main roster. Considered the gold standard by many industry veterans, the Viper may no longer be the face of the company, but he is in many ways a much better and more versatile sports entertainer than ever. His timing, facial expressions, psychology, and way of dictating the pace of a match, segment, or storyline make him an invaluable asset at a time when available performers with so much main stage experience are few and far between. Number 1, Brock Lesnar. You know, for somebody who supposedly doesn't care about the professional wrestling business, Brock Lesnar doesn't half put a shift in on the rare occasions he actually has to put a shift in, that is. It didn't take long for the next big thing to establish himself as, well, the next big thing after making his main roster debut in the spring of 2002. That was over 2 decades ago, and while Lesnar's WWE career has been inconsistent on occasion, these days he looks like he's got it all figured out and stands as a class apart from his peers. After an eon standing behind Paul Heyman and playing the mean-mugging menace with the short back and sides, the Beast Incarnate transformed himself into Cowboy Brock, a man who did his own talking, wore his own clothes, and drove his own tractor, by God. A tremendous and much-needed way to freshen up an act that had gotten stale, Cowboy Brock was perhaps the ultimate version of Brock Lesnar. I mean, it was certainly the most fun and did nothing to diminish Brock's aura as a terrifying monster of a man who will suplex you out of your skin if you dare look at him sideways. His matches with the likes of Lashley, Reigns, and McIntyre serve as proof that he is worth every zero on those big fat paychecks of his.